Warning: The Handmaid's Tale contains strong violence, strong language, and sexual violence that may be extremely sensitive and triggering. Viewer discretion is strongly advised, and this review is not for children. Comic Reviews. Hello comic fans, I am John of Video Games in the World. I'm back with reviewing comics once again. It's been like an eternity since the last time I reviewed comics. It was 2 years ago since that time. Being on quarantine messed up a lot of things for me in dedicating myself to this channel, and it turns out that this time I want to dedicate myself to making news, comic reviews, and work on my Power Rangers histories and lore, which I want to do so bad. Anyways, today what we are going to review is the graphic novel adaptation of the best-selling novel by Margaret Atwood, The Handmaid's Tale. The Handmaid's Tale was first released in 1985 as a novel by Canadian author Margaret Atwood. The novel spawned a movie in 1990 starring the late Natasha Richardson, Faye Dunaway, Elizabeth McGovern, Victoria Tennant, and Aidan Quinn. The movie seemed close to the novel. Then, 32 years later after the book's release, the novel spawned an Emmy and Golden Globe award-winning TV show on Hulu. The show stars Elisabeth Moss, Samira Wiley, Alexis Bledel, Joseph Fiennes, Yvonne Strahovski, and Max Minghella. It's a damn good show. I highly suggest you watch it. The one who put me to watch that show was my sister and also my older brother. It made me cry and angry at the same time. But enough of that, everyone. We have to get on. The art and adaptation of this graphic novel is by Renee Renault. Hope I didn't butcher that. Let us begin. America has become a dystopian nation, renamed as the Republic of Gilead. The regime was created by an extremist Christian cult known as the Sons of Jacob. It is a patriarchal regime where women are treated as secondary class citizens, are not allowed to read, write, have a job, manage their finances, own property, forming friendships, vote, nor hold public office. The heroine of the story is a handmaid named Offred. She serves in the household of the commander and his wife, and under the new social order, she has only one purpose. Once a month, she must lie on her back and pray that the commander makes her pregnant. Because in an age of declining births, Offred and the other handmaids are valued only if they are fertile. She remembers the years before this authoritarian, patriarchal, theocratic, and tyrannical regime known as Gilead, when she was an independent woman who had a job, a family, and a name of her own. What keeps her alive are her memories and a will to survive, which are acts of rebellion. Nolitete bastardes cabrundorum. I actually like the dialogues, and the drawings were pretty well made, and the characters look different from what we see in the TV show. Now, the novel and the show have their differences. The movie was as close to the book as it could get. However, the TV series took a few liberties as the show went on after season 1. And it has some elements from Margaret Atwood's sequel to The Handmaid's Tale known as The Testaments. Spoilers ahead due to the differences. In the novel, the handmaids, Marthas, aunts, guardians, angels, eyes, commanders, econo wives, and wives are all white. Because in the novel, not only this regime of Gilead is anti-Semitic, homophobic, and transphobic, but it's also very racist as well. In the show, Gilead is pretty much diverse, but in one of the episodes of season 3, there was a scene where Aunt Lydia said that a commander didn't want a handmaid to be a woman of color, which at least you see that it's pretty racist as well. Now, the aunts are the only women that are allowed to read and write, except the wives, the Econo wives, and the handmaids. The novel, movie, TV show, and this graphic novel adaptation are fantastic as dramatic and suspenseful story full of danger, intrigue, sex, love, and the willingness to fight and survive. It also shows that religion can be twisted by fanatics who are absolute hypocrites as well, and twist its message for evil intentions rather than the good intentions that the prophet, such as Jesus Christ, wanted, as Jesus wanted good for this world, not the ill intentions that those commanders are trying to do. They prohibited a lot of things that they deemed sinful, such as sex-related materials, yet these commanders show their infidelity to their wives and hypocrisy by heading to brothels to satisfy their sexual indulgences with their handmaids. That is an example of religious hypocrisy, preaching virtuous values while violating at the same time by indulging in their proclivities and things that they themselves have forbidden. The Handmaid's Tale is not only a story of suspense and drama, but Margaret Atwood was giving a warning of what will happen should those in power are there to remove human rights in the name of their extremist religious values and beliefs, as well as the social political beliefs, like wanting to regress this country back to the 1950s. And you know what? There were so many things that The Handmaid's Tale predicted that actually came true, such as when the sons of Jacob attacked Congress, removed basic human rights, suspending the Constitution, taking children away from single parents and unmarried couples, and falsely accusing the wrong people of terrorism when they themselves committed the treasonous crimes against the American government. And also, in The Handmaid's Tale, like the Nazis, they have concentration camps known as the colonies where they clean toxic waste, and many people die in slave labor due to the poisonous, radioactive, toxic chemicals that are in the colonies that they are forced to clean up. Sickening, isn't it? Not all of these came true yet, but given what happened a year ago and currently with what's happening right now, this is extremely frightening, and how this may end up becoming true is just scary and sickening. Man. It's like when Margaret Atwood herself wrote this novel, she was predicting the future, and it scares the hell out of me, and I'm sure it would scare the hell out of you as well. And I thought 1984 was scary, but you know what, man? Both The Handmaid's Tale and 1984 coming true, they scared the crap out of me and everyone else. With this review, I'm poking the hornet's nest with what I mentioned, but I'm actually being blunt and honest regarding this. And finally, to wrap this up, I actually like this comic, and I gotta say that Miss Nault did a fine job with the drawings, dialogue, and illustrations. So let's just hope, pray, and have the courage to take action so that we prevent a real-life Handmaid's Tale from happening. My final score for this graphic novel is a 9 out of 10. I am John of Video Games and the World. Have a good one.